So, wouldn't it be crazy if I told you you could learn Adobe Premiere Pro within 15 minutes? Insane, right? Possible? I don't know, you'll have to find out. If this is your first time here, my name is Alex, and I work with content creators, coaches, entrepreneurs to help them multiply their visibility, impact, and income using online media. So if you're ready to build your YouTube legacy that will grow your business and bring you more income, check out the links in the description below. In today's video, we're going to touch on 6 main things. The first thing is database. We're going to show you how to organize your files so it makes it easy for you to set it up and edit your videos really fast. Second is a workstation setup. We're going to dive into Adobe Pro, talk about how to organize the windows, get rid of the ones you don't really need or ever use really, and set it up so that you can edit as fast as possible. Third, we're going to talk about cuts. How do you edit your videos to make it look flawless? Fourth, we're going to talk about titles and images, how to add them into your footage so that you add some pop to your videos. Fifth, we're going to talk about the best practices about audio and how to set that up so it's easily consumed on any device in the world. And lastly, we're going to talk about color correction so you get that professional look with every video you make. So without further ado, let's roll that intro. So recently I created a welcome message for all my content creators in my meetup group called Content Creators Mastermind. This is what it looks like. Hey there, how's it going? Alex here. Welcome to the Content Creators Mastermind. If you haven't already, please check out the description below about what this Content Creators Mastermind is all about. So what'd you think? Pretty cool, right? The tips and tricks that you're going to be learning today can essentially be applied to any editing software. However, there'll be a couple points that are geared towards Adobe Premiere only. All right, so here we go. Point number 1, database. You've recorded your video, you have all the audio, and you're ready to go. Put it on your computer. How do you organize it to make it so it's easily accessible and you can import into Premiere so much faster than normal? I'll show you right now. As you can see here, I have folders pre-created. I have a meetup one with all these different folders called audio, images, title, and video. I put all my files in there so that it's easier for me to just drag and drop into Adobe Premiere. Next, we're going to talk about how to set up the workstation within Adobe Premiere, and then we're going to drag and drop all these into Adobe. Here we go. All right, so here we go. Item number 2 is workstation setup. We're going to fire up Premiere Pro, show you exactly where you go from opening up the application all the way up to setting up your workstation and saving it so you don't have to do this the next time you work on your projects. And here we go. So you've clicked on Adobe Premiere and you've opened it up. You're going to open a new project. So we're going to be brought to a screen that looks like this. I'm going to call it Meetup Intro. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on probably my desktop. So I'm just going to put it there and choose. As for the settings, you're going to set the renderer to Mercury Playback Engine GPU acceleration. This works best for when you are processing your videos. Display format timecode is fine. Display format, audio samples, and capture format HDV. You're going to click on this display the project item name and label color for all instances, and you should be good to go. Scratch disk, you don't have to worry about too much, and ingest settings, again, you won't have to worry about too much either. Click on OK. Now these are the default settings for when you click on Windows, Workspace, and all panels. However, I'm going to save some time and show you really quickly how to alter this so you can maximize your real estate and make your workflow so much better. If you click on these tabs, you can move them around just like that. And if you want to move them to a different spot around here, you can actually just go ahead and go like that. For the sake of time, I'm just going to skip ahead and show you exactly what my battle station looks like, which is this. So on the left here, you have audio clip mixers, which is really important. I also like to have my Lumetri scopes, which I'll show you later, is for color correction. Over here, you'll have the source clip. So when you have stuff in your timeline down here, this is where you're going to be seeing your video, the program, and also projects, which actually should be right here. This is where you're going to be dragging all of your meetup files, which I'll show you in just a second. Effect controls, effects, essential graphics, markers, Lumetri, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to name them all, but this is basically how I set up my real estate on my Adobe Premiere work panels. Finally, over here, you're going to be working in this area a lot. It's called the timeline. Make sure that this is as big as possible, but also you want to make sure that you can see the video really clearly too. And you have the audio gauge right here that tells you how high or how low your audio is when you edit your videos. The other shortcuts for your editings can be here. However, I find myself rarely using them. It's good to have just when you're starting off. And if you wanted to save your work panel that you've created, all you have to do is go up to Windows, Workspace, and Save as New Workspace. We're gonna call this one Intro Workspace, and there we go. So next time you wanna set it up, go to Workspaces, and there it is, your Intro Workspace, and you're all good to go. So there you have it. That's my workstation setup in Adobe. You can go ahead, rewind, look at how I set things up, and copy them for yourself. It works really well for me, and I'm sure it will for you too. Next, we're gonna talk about importing all your files into Adobe, and then we're gonna talk about how to cut them so your videos look flawless. Here we go. So when you have all your files ready to import into Adobe, you can click on them right here, select all the folders that you're ready to go, and you can go ahead and import them just like that. As you can see, they'll populate the projects folder just right here. And when you're ready to import your videos, you can go ahead and drag and drop them into your timeline, and voila, you have your video ready to go, and you can start editing as you please. And you can press on C, and this cut sign will come up. If you ever want to cut off this section and don't like it, you can go ahead and click on it like that and press V so that you can select the section and press delete so the section is no longer part of your video. You can drag the next section just like that so the tail ends are meeting, and so you get something very similar to this. A really great tip that you might want to consider using is the L and the J button. If you're going through a lot of footage, it makes it really easy to actually press the two of them, so you speed up the playhead so you don't have to listen to everything at regular speed. So if I press L once, it goes a little faster. And if I press L again, it goes even faster. Now, if I were to press J, it goes backwards, which is pretty cool. And if you press J again, it'll go double speed and rewind. Alright, so what do I mean by jump cuts? As you'll see, there's two pieces of footage here that weren't filmed consecutively. So if you look at the two sections, and I want it to connect to this section. So if you're a content creator, so as I want to connect these two, what I'll do is I'll find the end section that I want to end this first piece of footage with, which is right there. I'll press C as my shortcut, or you can click over here, cut that off, click on that with your selector tool right here, or on my keyboard I press V and I press delete. Now that these two sections are ready to be joined, you can go ahead and add them together. What you can do is add a jump cut. And what that looks like is this. If I were to go here and go to the scale and press 137, it will zoom in this section of the footage. So now that I play the scrub head through this video, there you go. Looks a lot smoother, right? So there you have it, jump cuts. It makes the two sections of footage look like they were a continual shot. All right, so the next section up, we have how to add images and titles to your video. Super simple, here we go. So as you can see here in the footage, I've added an image. And I also added titles, which look like this. I'm going to go ahead and just look at the footage and figure out where I want to add my image. And I'd say I want to add it right here. So what I can do is go to my projects folder, find the YT, which is YouTube thumbnail art, and add it, drag and drop, put it right on top, and voila. There we go. We have the image added to the footage. However, we need to resize it because, well, this doesn't look so great. Here, if you click on the scale and drag it up, all the way up to there, reach the edges, and so 151 is where I kind of want to leave it sitting. And when you go back and play the scrub head, boom, you have an image added to your footage. Now, as for titles, in order to get into the nitty-gritties of your timeline, you can press the plus sign to zoom it in as a shortcut. And I've already marked down sections where I want to add some titling. You can add markers by clicking on M on your keyboard, or you can remove them by pressing Command Z. So you want to add a title here. What I suggest doing is going into your projects right here. You're going to add a color matte so you have kind of a background. Now my footage is set to this. Whatever it comes up, I would suggest using the recommended settings and click on OK. And what you'll see next is your ability to choose the color you want for the background. So I'm going to click on black. I'll call it black matte. And here we go. So I put that on top over here. And I'm going to shorten that just a bit. So now when you go to the footage, the screen turns black. This is what you want to write on. Now with the black matte, you're going to want to add a title. So you can go to help and you can type title and you're going to create a new legacy title. As you do that, use again the recommended settings. I'm going to say test title. If you want to add text to the title, you want to click on this one right here, the type tool, and you can basically click anywhere on the screen. You want to keep your writing within these lines because this is the safe zone for when media has been playing on all other platforms. So best bet, keep it within the lines. I'm going to go ahead and write coaches right here. To make things a little more aligned and faster, you can click on these shortcuts to put it there. Now the font that I typically use is called Montserrat. You can go like that. Highlight it all with Command A, and I usually make it to extra bold, and there you go. The title is added. So when you're done writing your title out and you want to put it onto your footage, it'll be put into your projects folder right here. So in order to add the title to your footage, you can go ahead and click over here, drag it on top, shorten it a bit, and voila, you've added coaches to your footage. Easy, right? Adding titles, adding images, they add so much depth and dimension to your videos. You definitely want to use them wisely. So there you go. Next up, we have audio. We want to make sure that the audio levels are good so that they can be consumed and heard perfectly and loud enough on any device that people watch your videos. So here we go. If we look over here at the same footage we were looking at earlier, you're going to look at the gauge right here. The rule of thumb is you want to hit between -6 and -18. This is the safe zone for any audio, so just in case if you don't hit between there, you can adjust over here by moving around the audio clip mixer.
A little bit about myself, I am a life and business coach.
Maxing it out like that is pretty good for this particular clip. However, again, you want to hit between 6 and 18. Easy, right? Color correction is completely subjective. You want to create the mood and the tones and the colors that you want to portray. So whatever you guys do, it's going to be right as long as you're happy with it and you know that it makes the viewers that you want to talk to feel the way or the emotions that you want them to. All right, so we're back to our file right here. We want to pump up these two images and title because if we were to add the adjustment layers on top, it's actually not going to be very good. Adjustment layers are going to change the color of your footage, so the way to do that is to go into projects, click on this thing right here and add adjustment layer. Again, use the default settings. Here we go, and we can add the adjustment layer right on top of our footage just like this. Now, as you can see, the footage is a little bit washed out. The reason for that is because I use C-Log, which for those of you who use Canon, it's a setting on the camera that allows you to capture the most dynamic range. If you're using an iPhone, you might not have to worry about it too much, but you can tweak the coloring just a bit to make it look 10 times better. So in order to adjust the adjustments layer, you click on that one right there. You want to go to Lumetri Color, and then you can look at the basic correction. Now, for myself, I use something called curves. You don't have to. You can go ahead and skip to the next section if you want, but I like to add curves and lower down the lows increase the highs to get a bit of a contrast that looks a lot better. Now, in order for you to see what you're doing and making sure that it's going to look good on any of the computers or mobile devices that watch your videos, you want to make sure that these lines over here touch the 100 mark, and eventually on the bottom here will reach the 0 mark. That's when you know you have the most dynamic range. So I'm going to leave it for there for now, and I'm going to go back to basic corrections. And in order to change them, as you can see, if I dial it up a bit, the diagram changes ever so slightly, and I can pull down the blacks to make it reach the 0, and I think this is looking pretty good. All right, another thing that you can add to add emphasis to the talking head here is add a vignette. So you click on vignette over here, you change the amounts, and as you can see, the corners and the edges of the video are starting to get darker, and there is more emphasis on me in the middle. All right, so there you have it, color correction. You are now a beginner master of Adobe Premiere. You should have all the tools that you need to get started. So if you missed anything or want to look at it in more in depth, please go ahead, rewind, and enjoy this video over and over again. If there's something else that you want me to cover in the next video, please let me know in the comment section below, and make sure you check out these 2 other videos right here so you can continue on your creator's journey. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with somebody that you love and know might get value from it. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.